I'm using Screen-O-Matic today to show you guys how to create one of your two designs that you're going to have to create in Illustrator using one element of design of your choice. I'm going to show you today. You have to choose, for starters, you have to choose the element you choose to use. I'm going to show you how to use line today. So I'm going to open up Illustrator. It's AI, it's the orange box, and you're going to open up a new file. File new, and I'm going to name this document line because this is going to be my first design just using line. I'm going to change the width is fine, 11 by 8.5 is fine. We're going to leave that as letter size right here. Make sure it's in inches, and I click OK, and we're good. So let's get started. Opening real quick. Okay, so here's my document, and I chose line. So there's a couple different ways you could do this. You can use either the line segment tool. You click it down, hold, and you have other options underneath it that we can use. If I choose strictly just a line, remember you have your stroke here. If it is 1 point and I draw a line, the color of my line is right here in the stroke color. If I hold the mouse over it, stroke. And if I want to make a thicker line, all I have to do is just make it thicker. All right, so with black arrow, I clicked off it. I'm going to change this one back to 1 so you can see the variations from 1. This variation, when I click on it, says 3. I'm going to grab my line again. I'm going to make the next line I do 5 just so you guys can see the difference in line thicknesses. On top of that, if I click and hold down, I have an arc or a spiral. So let me try this spiral out. So I'm going to click and drag. I can spin this any way direction I want. Okay, and here's my example of a 5-point stroke in black. You're allowed to change the color of this by double clicking on the stroke. Your color picker will come up, and you're allowed to just select a different color, and automatically it will change that. Make sure that your fill color should have a red line there because that means there's no color there. Another couple, just another example I can show you how to do some line is the fact that if you use this brush, for instance, this is going to be new for some of you. And right now it's already set to 5. I'm going to reset this down to 3. The uniform is how it's going to look. So you have all of these different uniform looks in here that you're allowed to mess around with and try to have fun with. Okay, and then the other one that I kind of use on a more frequent basis is it gives me a couple variations here from basic to the chalk scribble to the floral stem to the filbert. And then this is just like decorative border stuff that I never use. So I usually use the basic to the filbert and the chalk scribble. Those are the ones I primarily use. So I'm going to grab the chalk scribble for a second. And seeing it actually just changed my swivel because I was actually still selected on it, which is fine. So if I click off of this, make sure nothing's selected. I'm going to grab my brush. It's at 1 point. I'm going to change the color from purple to, I don't know, we'll do gray. And it's right on my brush still. So you can notice the blue lines as I'm coming through here. Anything that I draw and I hold and click down, I'm going to create this line pattern. And I know you guys can't see it, but you only see the dots. But as soon as I unclick off of this, I actually just drew a custom shape using that tool. And this is the brush stroke. So I'm going to go from 1 point. I'm going to change my 1 point to, let's go 3. I'm going to change my color. Let's choose a light purple. That's fine. I'm going to leave it the same piece. I'm going to change the uniform, just see what it does. And I'm actually going to go over this design and make my own design again. And we can kind of see the difference from what it's actually going to do. So we notice that it's thicker. Notice that it's really thin in here, which means because of the variable width over here that I chose out of these options, it did something a little bit differently and altered the design. Another one you could use is a pencil, is the pencil tool, which is fairly the same exact thing. It just draws a straight. Okay, it's more of just a straight line. If you try putting a decorative look on there, it does fairly the same thing, but you can notice that it's slightly different using the pen. It's more detailed in the actual piece. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to click off if nothing's selected, grab the pencil again. Let's try a different view. I'm going to bump up the 1 point to 2. And now I'm going to start drawing again with the pencil. Like I said, the pencil is more detailed as the brush is actual, it's like you're brush stroking at like a painting. So it didn't really do much because of that. But if I change, because it's only at 2 point, but if I change the point size, I'm sure it's going to pop up a little bit. Oh, you don't know, I could just still on basic. So let's pop it up a little bit. And so again, when you get that pencil tool, it's a little more fine-tuned. The variations swap things over. So if you choose to do a line design, which is fine, you have multiple choices to use the line segment tool, which is right here. You could definitely use the arc, the spiral. I wouldn't use the grid or the polar grid for right now. Those are something different. You're allowed to use the brush or the pencil. So that's that. So let me just erase all this quick, and I'm just going to do a quick line design, which would classify as a good grade in my class. And honestly, have fun and make a mess. So I might just draw, you're literally just going to use line to make a design. That's pretty much what the purpose of this lesson is. For to use an element of design, I choose to use line. And notice how I'm just thinking creative. You might want to Google a few line designs to see what they look like to get a couple different ideas. I'm just going off the top of my head real quick in regards to what I'm looking for. Some of you are probably a little more creative than I am. Remember, just because something's simple, sometimes something simple is something more. So don't be nervous if you don't think your idea is that well. Okay, perfect. There's that. Now I'm going to start clicking on some of this, and I'm actually going to change the point sizing. I'm going to leave it straight. But some of these I'm going to click on, and I'm going to quickly change, throw the different other, I'm actually going to use the other element of design called size, but I'm still using line, so I'm allowed to do that. Now I might even try to use something a little extra. Why isn't it letting me do it? Oh, it did let me do it. Okay, I don't even like that. I'm going to keep it to basic. Let's change the point size to 2. This point size will go to 4. And then lastly, we'll do this point size to, I don't know, make it pretty thick. And then I'm going to come over here. I might grab the brush tool. And off of, I'm going to change the point size to 7. And off of these, I think I'm just going to draw a little bit of a scares coming from it. Just getting creative. Just going to finish this off. You don't have to copy me. Like I said, I'm just doing something different and creative. Thing outside the box. These strokes up here, I could have used something smaller so you could visually see it, but I'm just going to leave it as is. And I think I might come from the side over here. I might actually put a different color because I don't really have much color to this. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of color. It's hot red in there. And I'm going to actually make the point stroke huge. I'm going to make it like, I'll make it 20. Let's just go nuts with it. So let's see what this actually does. Off the paper, on the paper, off, back on, off. Okay, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just making a mess. I'm actually going to send this object. Oh, let's click off of this. Let's click on it so it's selected. I'm actually going to change my opacity. Okay, I think that's fine. I'm going to minimize this so we can see what's going on as an overall piece. If you do have pieces coming off the sides, not a big deal. All you're going to do is grab the square, which is selected in the toolbox. I'm going to grab my eyedropper. I'm going to color pick the outside, and now I have a square that is the same color as the outside, just for viewing purposes, so you can see the overall structure of the composition as a whole. And that's what I have right now. So what I might do right now is grab the brush again, change the point size a little bit smaller, see what we have. I'm gonna work with 10, and I'm gonna keep the same color, and I'm just going to do similar to the same thing I just did and go up and around. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to change the color again. Let's do a little bit off purple here. Change the stroke to 7. And all I'm doing is trying just to make and put lines together, making a simple line design that looks complex, but notice anybody can do this as I'm giving you instructions. Change the opacity. Oh, I can't change the opacity because I didn't click on it yet. So now it's selected. I changed the opacity, and now I'm getting a little transparency here where you can start to see through. There's different colors here that I'm seeing through the opacity. I can still see my black lines in the back. And the only thing I gotta do now is click on my boxes so I can send these objects, arrange, bring to front. And this is my line design, which is finally completed. This is what I would hand in, and this would classify as a pretty good line design. So let me save my work. File, save as. I should already save it as line. Line desktop, perfectly fine. Make sure you save it in your folders. And this is how you make a simple, it's a very visual, good looking line design. And this is done. So once you finish this one, you have to do another one using a different element of design. For instance, you could use size or shape or color and have fun. Just don't use line again. And that will be that. So good luck to you, and ask me if there's any more questions. Thanks.